Have you ever worked somewhere and the manager acted like they're king or queen and you just have to listen? But at another job, the boss is chill and he treats you like an equal. That difference is called power distance. And that's what we're talking about today. Today we're breaking down cultural power distance. Basically, how different cultures feel about people having more power than others. A formal definition, cultural power distance is how comfortable a group is with unequal power. High power distance means people expect a strict hierarchy. Low power distance means people prefer everyone to be equal and more open and, super friendly. Now, let's talk about the why. Understanding power difference matters because it affects the way people act around leaders. It helps us see why some cultures expect you to stay quiet and while others expect you to speak up. The idea comes from a researcher named Hofstede in the 1970s. He found that places like Mexico and China had high power distance, while countries like the US and Australia have a low power distance. The next topic we'll talk about is consequences. When people with different power distance styles interact, they can misunderstand each other. Someone from a low power distance culture might come off as disrespectful because they ask questions or they speak casually. Someone from a high power distance culture might seem too strict or too quiet because they're used to showing big respect toward authority. Let's talk about real world application. A real example happens all the time at work, especially in places like fast food. Usually the workers are young teens, 16, 15, and the managers are 20 years plus, like 40. And so, they interact with each other and it's jokingly and they suggest ideas or they ask questions. And that's low power distance. Some people from a high power distance culture might think, whoa, why are you talking to a manager like that? That's an elder. Because where they're from, you listen and you speak only when spoken to. So two people can do the same job, but the cultural expectation about who has power can make them see the situation totally different. Because in other countries, they're heavily taught to respect elders and adults. A challenge question I got is, as more cultures start to integrate, will we start expecting more equal treatment, or will people keep holding on to strict hierarchy? In conclusion, cultural power distance helps explain why people from different backgrounds sometimes clash or misunderstand each other when it comes to bosses, teachers, or leaders. Cultural power distance describes how comfortable a society is with equal power and authority. In high power distance cultures, people expect hierarchy and show strong respect towards leaders. In low power distance cultures, people value equality and communicate more openly, even with those in charge. A cool real world example is like Japan. But my call to action is pay attention to how people act around authority. They speak up, they stay quiet. Understand power distance can help you communicate better with anybody.